Hey, peace family, what's going on? It's Cornez back here with Too Smart to Be Broke. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. And if y'all got any information for me, y'all want to build with me, drop down in the comments, man. Let's build, man. It keeps me growing. I don't know everything, but I do like to exchange information and build with like-minded individuals, have that positive energy. Let's keep growing out here. So what I want to talk about today is how to buy your first investment property. It's going to involve a little bit of personal credit. It's going to involve a little bit of business credit tactics. But I just want to touch on the surface, and hopefully this plants a seed in you to know what's possible and attainable. All right. So we're going to talk about the first way, which is kind of the traditional way to get in the game. All right. So when you want to buy a house in general, I would say if you never bought a house before and you have a good job and good standing, your credit is probably 620. It doesn't have to be, but preferably 620 or better, 650 or better. All right. Your credit utilization is is good. Debt to income ratio is good. DTI, y'all, you can make sure y'all look that up. Well, but credit utilization, typically 30%. Hopefully 25, 20, 15, somewhere around there, but at least 30%, which means if you have $1,000 credit limit combined, you're only spending 300 of it. That's right. And your personal credit, as far as credit cards, line of credit, stuff like that, you typically want to stay under 30% of utilization. It's different if you got a car note, school loans, mortgages, things of that nature. It's different rules for them. You just want to make sure your payments are on time, nothing in collections, so on and so forth. But talk to a mortgage broker or lender in your area to get what's going on in your area. But typically you got an FHA loan, all right, which is a loan that you only have to put 3.5% down on the property to get in the door. And depending on where you at, once again, you might have to pay some closing costs and stuff like that. But for all of you who maybe can find a decent house for $100,000, you can get in 3.5. That's like $3,500 down, something like that. But I know that's not typical for a lot of people, and I'm just saying things are going to vary. I got in a house. I'm gonna be transparent. I got into a house here in San Antonio, Texas, and it's a 2-story house. Not quite 2,000 square feet, close to it, maybe 3 beds, 2.5 baths, like 150,000. Yeah, so right around that pocket, about 150,000. And I think between using the down payment assistance program or something like that, man, I might have got in about 4,000. I think I got in for about 4,000, man. It was either the USDA loan or the FHA loan. It was one of the two. But USDA loan is another loan that you get approved for if you're in a rural area that helps with down payments. So, like I said, check that out. Look into FHA loans, USDA loans, and if that's not available, down payment assistance loans. Those usually are available for first-time home buyers. And, even if but mainly for first-time home buyers, all right? And my payments may be like a little over $1,100 a month. All right, and that's including PITI, principal, interest, tax, all that. All right, so that's just give you a general idea. And I'm not in no war zone or anything like that. I'm not in the best neighborhood. My neighbors are good. We got an HOA. It don't be too many problems over here, like over in this little subdivision area. So just give you in mind what's possible. I know that everybody's in the area not the same, but just giving y'all some numbers so you can have a general idea. All right. And rent probably going for $1,300 out here. So say if I just didn't want to deal with it, I probably wouldn't be making much cash flow because I keep some money to the side for, somebody messing with a toilet or something like that. But that's possible. Get you a house and somebody else paying for it. But hey, I understand you gotta vet people, tear up your house and other stuff. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Just know that also with the FHA, USDA loan and stuff like that, you can get a single family residential house, which is a 1 to 4 unit. Which means you can get a single family, 1 door, or you can get a duplex with 2 doors. You can get a triplex with 3 doors. Or you get a quadplex with 4 doors, 4 units. So you could potentially in a duplex be staying on one side, somebody's renting the other side. So they're pretty much paying most of your mortgage. All right. That's a way to get in the game. I'm saying if you do have it, a way to get in the game if you don't have money. All right. That those were the people who's kind of got a decent flow going, business going, credit is decent, trying to figure things out. They got their stuff, they ducks in a row. If your personal credit is not good, study it, look it up on YouTube, get you some money. If you don't want to do it yourself, but I suggest you kind of study to know what you're doing. Try some free stuff out, look up the Federal Credit Act and all that stuff, man. Get you annual free annual credit a report. Your Credit Karma is good for seeing what you have on there, but it's not exactly good as far as the scores are concerned. I probably would go with My FICO or Credit Check Total. Pull it real quick. They got a trial version that's fairly cheap, but make sure you call and cancel it if you don't want to keep paying. All right. But there's good information to pull if you don't have access to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and you don't want to pay all that money. So, I'll get deeper into this stuff. Man, just drop down in the comments and I will get deeper into some specific topics. I just wanted to let you know that's one way to get into your first investment property. Another way, say you have no money, but you got time in your hands. For whatever reason, you ain't got a job. I don't know, but for whatever reason, you ain't got no job, or your job stressing you out, or you just bagged up. All right, you got time on your hands. You can get into wholesaling real estate. I talked a little bit about what it is. But essentially, it's just an exit strategy. Actually, once you get the property, you can do different things with it if you get it at the right price or the right situation. So, one way you can do this is you can drive around looking for abandoned houses, vacant houses. You can look for tax delinquent houses. You can get online and search for foreclosed houses. You can actually, tax delinquent, foreclosure. That's usually with bankruptcies. You can put out bandit signs. It's so what I use is I've been doing this lately is calling people that have gotten their water shut off in the past 30 days. What you do is you hit up the city. And you send them a little letter, depending on your state and everywhere is different. But you have some Freedom of Information Acts, Public Information Acts, where they can actually give you the property address, but they can't give you the name of the owner or the reason why it was cut off. So you have to do a little bit more research to why it was cut off, because it could have just got listed on the market or something like that. But anyway, different ways you can find these motivated sellers. Essentially, what you do is get the contract for the property, and you will assign your interest in that property over to somebody else. Meaning, if I contract this property for somebody who wants to sell a house for $50,000, I can assign that contract over the rights to the paperwork. He takes my position in the paperwork over. So if I say I want to sign it for 60, boom, I sign it for 60. They make it to closing, then I get the 10 from the 60 to 50. I get that 10 for that assignment fee. It's legal. You have to get with attorneys and stuff like that for most places and seeing where you at. But for the most part, it's you're just assigning your position in that contract over to somebody else. You're not a broker. You're not a realtor. You're actually coming in like you're buying the house, and then somebody else takes your position. There's some criteria and stuff in that. But in turn, you can actually, flip the paperwork like that and get into real estate. You can actually find somebody who has a mortgage or something that's, say they're behind, $3,000 on their mortgage payments. You can contract the house. They can deed you the property. Keep the mortgage in place, right? You'll pay their $3,000, and all you will be doing is you'll make sure they make their payments on time. But say they mortgage payments like $800 a month, but the rent is like $1,200. You stick somebody in there, and they're paying $1,200 for rent, and you're making sure that mortgage is paid, but you're cash flowing the rest of that outside of money set aside for necessities, it's things that need to get fixed, reserves. All right. Hopefully I'm not giving too much or talk too fast. If I'm talking too fast, slow it down. All right. But if you have some questions for me, drop down in the comments. This is the third way, and this is going to be talking about business credit. Okay. For when I was telling you the first way was if you got a decent job, all right, got your credit together and all that, you got your ducks in a row, you got some money saved up in the bank. The second way for if you pretty much broke, or you just pretty much got got time on your hands, or you want to start to do a side hustle to get your feet in the door. All right, that's when we get into it. Now, piggybacking off that last way, if you have business credit, guess what you can do? You can get into wholesaling real estate, right? You can use that money for marketing. You can pay for your list. You can pay for bandit signs. You can pay to get people to drive for dollars for you. You can, pay people for referrals. There's some different things you can do. But here's what you can do. You can become an employee of your business. So what do you mean by that? Okay, say you get a line of credit. I don't know what your line of credits would be. Say you get a line of credit. Say you get credit cards that you can actually pull money off of via balance transfer checks. Whatever, you're on payroll as an employee. And you know what happens when you go get a FHA loan or a conventional loan from a bank? They ask for like 3 months, 3 months check stubs and tax, extra tax returns for the past 2 years. Okay, so all right, you got your tax. Say you got your tax returns from your previous jobs or whatever the case may be. Or say you had your business for a while. It depends on where you at with your business. Pay yourself. You can pay yourself out of them lines of credit for 3, 4 months, 5 months. Here you go. This is my position. This is how much I make. This is my position in the company. So on and so forth. It's legit. You got your EIN number. You're an actual employee. You done filled out everything correctly. You got your paper trail. And guess what? You use that money to buy a property. You can always deed the property over eventually to the business thing. All right. This just giving you some things you said, planting seeds for y'all to see how you can maneuver. Of course, you can use those lines of credit to get hard money loans, private money loans, to partner with people and actually do real estate jobs. Say you might take care of the rehab if the rehab is light or something like that. But it's ways you can get into it. So what you have to do is realize, what you have to do is realize is that you have to be creative when you out here moving around. I'm not saying I'm not telling you to break the law or do anything of that sort. Stay in line, but be creative. Find solutions. Okay, you can pay yourself. Have a plan. That's why it's important to have a plan when you get this money. When you get these credit cards and lines of credit, and when you get this, somebody drop $1 million, you're like, boom, what you gonna do with it? Oh, I do. What are you gonna do? All right. So that's how you get into real estate with your first investment properties. Yes, there are other ways. There's partnering with people, all types of stuff. One, get you a FHA or USDA or down payment assistance program. Depending on what area you're in, try to find you a duplex or something you can get into and have somebody paying out one side, 2 or 3 sides of it. If you just got time on your hand, get out here and try to search for properties. Wholesaling is just an exit strategy. Once you market it and get it, you can do different things. You can flip it with somebody. If you got to find a good enough property, people will partner with you. You ain't got to put no money down. It's possible. I've done it. And then with the business, yeah, man, you can, you get the business credit. Say you do leverage your personal to get the business credit, balance transfers, lines of credit. Now you're paying yourself. You got payroll stubs to show for. Okay, boom. Now you just qualified to get you a duplex or something and you can afford the 10 to 20% down. Okay, you got balance. It's work it out. Of course, you're gonna have an exit strategy. Maybe it's how you pay that money back off. But trust me, it's out here. You can do it. It is very, very possible. So I hope this helps somebody. I know I hadn't made a video in about a week or so, but I don't know why it's been on my mind to talk about getting into real estate, your first investment property, and it ties in with business credit because a lot of people ask, can you utilize business credit? Yes, you can. All right. But for those of you wondering how you get off a card, there's certain services you use like Plastique, but you can't really use American Express, but you can in turn finesse that and try to use that for like closing costs. Use it to actually pay contractors off. stuff like that. But is it easier to just do a balance transfer? Yes. Is it easier to have a line of credit and just get the money off of there? Yes. Yes. But just know that it's possible. You know what I mean? If you got access to funds, be creative. Business to business. Anyway, I'm out, man. Make sure y'all share, like, subscribe, and comment. And maybe I'll make a part 2. We'll get deeper in depth with that. So, y'all know what to do, man. Peace.